Today is the 22nd of November 2023. I would like to continue our exploit on some of the possible questions that might come up. Okay. Thank you everyone who has been watching our videos. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, can you consider subscribing, following, sharing, and liking them as well? Okay. Thank you very much. And please do leave us comments. It helps me, okay, because I want to know that the information I'm giving you is helping you. Okay, thank you very much. And if the account is not yours, please ask for permission or ask somebody to help you open your own account. In the comment section, you will see me write follow my note/script. Okay, everything I want to say is in the script. Yesterday, I think Y was 56 degrees, but when I was watching it, I said 56 degrees, and one time I said 54. It's not 54, it's 56. Okay, so at that time, follow my notes. If you think it's 54 degrees and degrees as in angles, and the question comes and you write that, then you'll be wrong. So follow my note, because as I'm explaining, I'm showing you along. Okay, so bear that in mind. I will appreciate your help on that. Watch last video for recap. Okay, at this point, because you are solving a lot of questions, there is no point me bringing a lot of recap. All you can do is watch last video, because the questions that we are looking at, some of them are possible questions, some of them are past papers, and we've done most of the topics, if not all. So you can go and look for the topic, watch, and come and look at the question, watch. And then if you have any question at home that you are stuck on relating to that topic, you try and solve it. And if you learn that way, if a question come in the exam, you will surely be able to answer it. Okay, it's guess that is how it works. I'll start that today. Let's do some revision on fractions. We've done fractions earlier on. Okay, these are things you think, oh, they are trivial, they are simple, but it will shock you how many students just get muddied up. Okay, so at times, for starters, I would like to throw in some simple stuff. Also, it relaxes your mind as well. Okay, because at times you might be asked to, we might need that to solve a more difficult questions. So we want to look at division today. Okay, we've done videos on that. Okay, this is our first fraction, and divided by this is our second fraction. The top is the numerator, the down is the denominator. We have videos on this. Okay, now before I continue, beware of scammers. Okay, I just want to stop talking about them. But if I don't, and if I don't say anything and something happens, then even though I'm not involved, but beware them. If somebody asks and sends you foreign account to donate to orphanage or whatever there is, and it's not coming from me, okay? If I have anything to say to you, I will say it in the video. If I haven't said it, it's not coming from me or anyone around me I know of, okay? Now, let's continue with our starter. So, this top part is the numerator. This down part is the denominator. If you are dividing one fraction by the other, you need to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Immediately you do that, the second fraction, you need to flip it. Okay, so here 2 over 5 becomes 5 over 2. But you don't have to flip the first fraction. Okay, so you have 1/3. Immediately you bring the multiplication sign, you have to flip this side. Otherwise, you can't solve it. You can't say 1 divided by 2, 3 divided by 5. You can't do that. So, you have 1 over 3. Then you bring your multiplication sign. Now, the second fraction, you need to flip. So, 2 over 5 becomes 5 over 2. Before now, you can multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. So I've done that. So I have 1 times 5, which is 5. 3 times 2, which is 6. So if you divide 1/3 divided by 2 over 5, your answer becomes 5 over 6. The second one, 3 over 4 divided by 1 over 5. So 3 over 4 is the same, times 5 over 1, which is 15 numerators multiplied together divided by denominator. 4 times 1, 15 over 4. Third one, 1 over 5 divided by 3 over 4. Okay. Now, these two fractions, look, this is the same, but one is divided by the other. Okay. And we have different answers. Okay. So, 1 over 5 is the same. We multiply by 4 over 3 with a flip fraction. So here we have 1 times 4, which is 4. 5 times 3, which is 15. Now the fourth one, 7 over 8 divided by 1 over 2. So 7 over 8 will be the same, times 2 over 1. So here we have 14 divided by 8. And we can reduce it further, giving us 7 divided by 4. 5. 1 over 3 divided by 1 over 4. So 1 over 3 times 4 over 1, which will give us 1 times 4, the numerator, which is 4. 3 times 1, the denominator, which is 3. Okay. Now, let's look at the question I have for you today. Okay. So we are looking at more possible exams questions. These are questions that can show up. Okay. The first one is complete the table for y equals s squared plus 5. We did videos on this. We said immediately you see s squared, it becomes a quadratic graph. So it will be a parabola, okay, for values of x minus 4 to 4. They can say minus 3 to plus 3. Okay, so just do as they've asked you to do. Okay, now they've given you the table. The ones I've labeled in green, I had to find them. Okay, the ones the ones in green, I have to find them myself. Okay, the ones not in green was given. Okay, now what did I do? I have the equation y equals x squared minus 5. You can put it in directly and solve. Okay, or you can go by this. The answer paper is yours. You won't get any marks for this, but at times students in the foundation group or some type of learners, they would like to do things by this way. Okay, because I'm explaining to you, I just want to show you how you can. So y equals x squared minus 5. You don't have to do all this, okay, but because I'm showing you, so you can just do y equals x squared minus 5. When x is 4, minus 4, so you have minus 4 all squared minus 5. You can do this on top of your head. I could, but because I'm explaining again, I need to show you. So minus 4x squared will be 16, then minus 5. Okay. So y will be 16 minus 5, which is 11. So the coordinate for the parabola will be minus 4, 11. So here I'm going to put 11. Okay. If they give you the table, then you just put in the ones that are missing. Now x equals minus 2. So we've been given minus 3. So I'm going to find x equals minus 2. So when x is minus 2, minus 2 all squared is 4, minus 5. So y will be minus 1. 4 minus 5 is minus 1. So I'll come here, and that's my minus 1 in green. They've done this for us. Now, when x is 0, all this part of the equation is 0. So y will be minus 5. You don't have to go through all this, okay? Because x squared will be 0. Whatever x cubed, 2x, as long as x is 0, that part will be 0. So this is all you are left with, minus 5. So again, minus 5. When x is 1, 1 squared is 1, minus 5. Okay, here, we are here now. So 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So 1 minus 4. So actually, you can do this without going through all this. Okay, I just did it to show you. Assuming you can't figure it out, you can do it. It will take 2 or 3 minutes, but I'd rather make you do it this way and spend 1 or 2 extra minutes and get all this right. Because if you don't get the y values right, then your graph will not be right, and then you are going to get the answer wrong. Okay, so this is a very important part. Okay, we've done one. So when x is 2, 2 squared is 4 minus 5. Okay. We've been given that, we've been given the 3, so we'll do the 4. So when x is 4, 4 squared is 16 minus 5 is 11. So there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We found the points. Okay. That is all. So you've completed the table for whatever marks they will give you. Okay, we've done that. So you don't have, as I said, you don't have to do all that. Okay, you can just do the first one and then keep on doing it in your head and putting the answer down. But if it will muddy you up, then do it this way. It will take a few seconds, but at the end, you don't have to go through all these steps. At the end, you know that you've got all your values of right correct. Draw the graph of y squared equals 5 for values of x from -4 to 4. So look at the graph again. X on the x-axis, you are going to plot -4 to 4. But on the y-axis, you have 11 being your highest value and 11. So you have to start from, say, -5 all the way up to 11 for your y-axis scale, because the x-axis is easy. Okay, so now we are going to draw the graph. Now if it's a linear graph, it will just be x minus 5. Because it's x squared, we know that it's a quadratic curve or a parabola. We've done this. Now x squared here is positive, is plus, so it will open upwards. Okay, so we are expecting a graph that is going to open upward, and it's a curve. It won't be a straight line. Okay, so that is our observation here. You don't have to write this, just explaining to you, because we've done this as well. Okay, so I've listed the coordinates here. You can use the table and plot straight on the graph, or you can list the coordinates and use the coordinates to plot, whichever is easier for you. So on my graph, okay, here plotting is important. So you either go by the table, okay, and if that is not helpful, just write the coordinates out and then plot. I've written the coordinates out. So when x is -4, y is 11. So -4, y is 11. Now let's look at the graph. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. I just put in the date for my reference. On the exam paper, you wouldn't have to do that. I wrote a graph of y equals x squared minus 5, where x is between -4 and 4. Okay, you can just write a graph of y equals x squared minus 5. Now, If you've not been given the scale and you've not been given the graph or the grid, then you have to find the scale. Okay, so I did one box 2. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for x. -1, -2, -3, -4 for the negative part of x. Now for y, when I look at the graph, the lowest is the table, sorry. The lowest is -5. So I stopped at -5. Okay, so 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. And then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Equal intervals, please. Don't forget that. So I'm going to plot the coordinates now. So -4, 11 there. So I have -4. That is -4, 11. Here you could use a ruler. Okay. You will not be videoing yourself, so you can use a ruler. -3, 4. So -3 and 4 there. -2, -1. So -2 here, -1 there. That is the point, the coordinates here. -1, -4. -1, -4. 0, -5. So 0, -5. 1, -4. So +1, -4 there. 2, -1. So +2, -1. 3, 4. So 3, 4. 4, 11. So 4 all the way 11. Now, drawing the quadratic curve is tricky. I had to use freehand here. Okay, so what I try to do is to draw the curve this side at the turning point. Okay, we know it's a positive and it's going to open upwards. So it's a curve, it's not a straight line. Okay, it's a quadratic graph or a parabola. Okay, so I drew from the x-axis all the way down. Okay, and then I drew this part all the way to the top. Okay, and then I drew this part all the way to the top. So I've done the second part of the equation. I've drawn the graph. Okay, now let's look at the third part of this equation. So now use your graph of y equals s squared. So now we are going to use this graph. Okay, don't use anything else. If the question says use the graph, use the graph to write down the values of x when y is 0. Okay, now when y is 0, the graph will cut the x-axis. Okay, so y is 0 at this point. Okay, and y is 0 at this point. Okay, my parabola is not a bit straight, okay, but I can see a negative value and a positive value. So y equals 0. When on the graph, when y equals 0, okay, when I look at this closely, okay, it's about 2 minus 2.3. When I look at this closely, it's about between 2.2 and 2.3. Okay, so I've written here minus 2.3 and 2.2, positive 2.2. Now they said I should find x. They didn't ask me to leave the answer as coordinates. So you're just going to put the value of x's. Okay, follow what the question is asking you. If they say leave the answer as coordinates, then, but the question says write down the values of x. So you are just strictly going to follow the question and write the values of x when y is 0. So here on the graph, y equals 0 and x is on the, when y is 0, x equals minus 3 and plus 2.2. That is what I got on my graph. So that is what I'm going to write. Okay. Now this wasn't part of the question. Okay, I just wanted to show you again algebraically because we've done some algebra. Okay, so assuming you were not going to draw the graph and you are solving this by algebra, so you are going to put y equals 0 because that's where it casts the x-axis and equate it to this equation. So x squared minus 5 will be equal to 0. Now this is not a difference of 2 squared. Okay, s squared, assuming it's s squared minus 25, then it's difference of 2 squared. Then you write x plus 5, x minus 5 will be 0. Then it's easy to find. But this is not difference of 2 squared. And it will be difficult solving this without the use of this formula x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, this is for the higher stuff or for people who are doing additional maths. Okay, now we compare this equation to ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A is never equal 0 because when a is 0, then the x squared will not exist. Now if you look at this equation carefully, a will be 1 here. It's not there, but 1x squared is the same. B will be 0 because there is no b part. Okay, and c will be minus 5. So we put the a, b, and c values in this equation to find x. So x is minus b, which is 0. Okay, let's not forget the minus. Okay, so if we do that habit, if it's 1, then we might not put it there. Okay, So minus 0 plus or minus square root of b squared 0 minus 4, a is 1, c is minus 5. If we simplify further, we have 0, minus 0 and 0 are the same. Plus or minus 0 squared is 0, minus 4 times 1 is minus 4, times minus 5, which is 20. All divided by 2a. A is 1, so 2a will be 2. Okay. So x now, if we simplify further, will give us plus or minus square root of 20 divided by 2. Now, if you do this correctly on the calculator, you find the square root of 20 and divide by 2. You are going to get two values. It will be plus or minus 2.2 to 1 decimal place. You get 2.23 something. Okay, so this is 1 decimal place. Okay, so the coordinates will be x, the positive and the negative, because you can see from the graph there is a positive x and there's a negative x. So the values of x will be minus 2 and plus 2. If we want to leave them as coordinates, it will be minus 2.20 plus 2.20. Note, this is if they ask you to leave your answer as coordinates. Okay, but if they just ask you, like here, write down the values of x, then you go by this, because these are the values of x. If you leave them as coordinates, you won't get the marks. Just put down the values. Okay, so I thought I'll share this question with you. We've done similar videos, okay, but this is an exam question actually, okay, a past paper. So I thought I would share it with you today. Okay, it's the explanation that has made it a match, because I want you to understand it step by step. Okay, because if you understand these things, then you'll be able to, if they say give the values of x and you write it as coordinates, you are not going to get the marks. If they say find the values of x and write it as coordinates, then you do that. Okay, whatever the question is asking you to do is what you are going to write on your exam paper. Okay, because if you do the wrong thing, it might be right, but you not get the answer. Okay, so thank you for watching our video today, and I'll see you in the next.